Okay, hello again, everybody. This video is to walk the viewer through the preparation of the Missouri Property Tax Credit return, also known as the circuit breaker, using the TaxSlayer software. The goal is to electronically file a Missouri circuit breaker as an attachment to a Missouri 1040 using the Missouri PTS property tax schedule and the Missouri CRP, which is the certificate of rent paid. We will link it to a federal electronic return, and we will electronically file the federal and the Missouri return. About 20% of the returns that we prepare are circuit breakers, and of that, there's a large percentage whose income would be from Social Security or SSI. In this case, in this example, we have an individual whose Social Security income is $9,000. SSI income is $2,000, and they paid rent in the amount of $6,500. So here we are at the personal information page. The person is the date of birth is May the 10th of 1960. And he is disabled. We have an address as we're going through this return. We'll go to indicate income. So for purposes of the income, we will do enter myself. And I wanted to show that for your the Social Security income, you would go to the IRA pension, the distribution form 1099-R. Go to the Social Security and enter the income in. This would be box 5 of the 1099 SSA. So here we would enter the $9,000. At this point, the adjusted gross income of the federal return is still zero. So in order to electronically file a federal return, we would have to show a positive number. So the way we do that would be to include a figure, and we could either do it as a 1099 on the dividend and put $9 or $10 in there, as long as it's $10 or below and above $1, over $1. In this case, I decided to use other income, line 21, and that entry would look something like this. So we would go to the other income not reported elsewhere, that is no 1099, and we would and it would show here is where you would enter other income and put the $10 in. Continue. So to all intents, we're done with the federal side. Now we would go to to the Missouri, and we'll click on state section, and I'll go to edit. And for purposes of this the presentation, where I'm only going to show you how to handle that part of it. The return, we would go to credit, property tax credit information for Missouri, the PTS. Now, the first screen would look something like this. We would have to select yes here. The basic information, we would begin. Now, the qualifications. In this case, you've got 4 qualifications: over 65, veteran, and disabled, 60 years or older, and receiving surviving spouse benefits. In this case, the client is the disabled, and he's a renter. That's all that's necessary. If the person was an owner, we would indicate owner, and we would fill out the real estate taxes. That's a fairly simple, straightforward the calculation. Household income is the next area. Now we've already got the 9,000 of the Social Security that was reported on the on line 20 on the federal return. So this area here, this particular screen, is where you would enter other income that's not taxable. SSI would go in this box here, and as we indicated, that amount was $2,000. The property tax information would be for real estate taxes if the client owned a home and paid their real estate tax. But in this case, we will go to Form Missouri CRP, type begin. So the type of rental unit would be the apartment, house, or small mobile home. Number of additional residents would be 0. The gross rent, I said that the amount paid was $6,500, and the date would be from January 1, 2017 through the end of the year. So it would be entered with the year, the month, and the date. So landlord's name, for purposes of this, we would say landlord. Say landlord name, last 4 digits. If you don't have the last 4 digits or any federal ID number, the software will accept 999. The landlord street address, will just say that since it was an apartment complex, we'll use the same address as shown on the return. We would enter all the landlord information. There is no relationship, and the renter's address is the same as the address on the federal return, except for the apartment number. If that is the case, then you would not need to complete the bottom part of this. However, if the address was another address, then you would enter that information here. Typically, that would be where the individual, someone moved and is now living in another apartment. Continue, and that completes the process. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. It says here. Oh, they did ask for the county. Sorry about that. If we get back to this screen, that indicates there are no errors. So what we will do is I'll bring up the return as a print file, and we can go through that Missouri return just to show you how the number is carried over to the tax return. So for purposes of the federal portion, the 9,000 Social Security is shown up on line 20. The $10 that we need to electronically file the return is on the federal line 21. So this passes the validity checks as far as this ability to electronically file the federal return. So on the Missouri side, you can see here on line 40, the property tax credit is $750. The Missouri PTS form, the schedule, shows the $9,000 in Social Security, the $2,000 SSI income. On the Missouri CRP, it has the information we entered with the $6,500 rent, and that carried, well, let's see, that carried over to, well, the amount would be $1,300. That amount carries over. The amount of the property tax credits is $750. And that is how the return is prepared. Thank you.